Top 5, a show where we count things down from number 5 all the way to number 1. And we are in the middle of the spooky season. Actually, we're almost at the end of the spooky season. But I know some of you are going to go to those holiday spooky parties and you have nothing to wear. You are deciding and contemplating, gee, what costume should I buy? So this week on Top 5 Halloween costume ideas. Top 5 Halloween costume ideas. And I'm going to start things off this week because I want to kind of tie into last time we did a Top 5. And these are just, again, ideas. You don't have to do them. But I think, how about you go as a plate of warm shrimp that's been sitting on the heater all evening? I think that would make a fine costume. I mean, who wouldn't look at that and say, oh, yeah, I remember you from game night. And then everyone would be like, yeah, game night. So that's my number 5 costume idea. Warm shrimp that's been sitting on the heater all evening.
You know, for 30 years, you and I have been going back and forth, and every once in a while, you do a month-old callback, and I remember why we're friends.
Let's see if we stay friends, Matthew. What do you have for your top 5 Halloween costume idea?
My number 5 is one that I was a little leery of, but then I actually, looked at it in 2008. Okay, well, for a little setup. Celebrity people have lots and lots of money, and celebrity people sometimes really love Halloween. And one of the ones that loves Halloween is Heidi Klum, whom I know from Project Runway. My wife would watch this incessantly. And Heidi has this thing where every year she goes and she does a really cool costume. I do have a caveat to my number 5, Heidi Klum's Kali costume, where she literally painted herself blue and did fangs, and she did an accurate costume, just an accurate representation, including 6 additional arms. And it's a gorgeous, gorgeous costume. And the way that she did it was very respectful. I know that cultural appropriation is a thing. And I know that if, this feels disrespectful, absolutely feel free to tell me you suck and that's bad. But I feel like the way that this particular costume was done, especially if you are someone, who is from that particular culture, I feel like 6 mannequin arms, you could really, really have a wonderful, wonderful costume. Alternately, you could also do Spiral of the X-Men, who has 6 arms and I believe blue skin. I can't remember exactly, but
I don't remember what color skin Spiral has.
She just has regular.
That's what I thought too.
White,
she's got like, yeah.
But she's got like a kind of a samurai helmet.
Yeah.
But she's got like one entirely cybernetic arm and one half cybernetic arm too. But yeah, but if you actually go and look, this costume is beautiful, and apparently it is actually culturally accurate. She went and had designers involved. So yeah, it's a really cool looking costume, and it's one that say you happen to have a bunch of severed arms around your house. I'm not asking why. Actually, I am asking why. But nonetheless,
it's Halloween.
That's true. Yeah, you can have an 11-foot skeleton in your front yard. That's fine.
Plus, have you seen the price of meat at the supermarket?
Stephen Francis Schleicher.
The other thing that I notice about cybernetic arms is that the easiest costume to make? You just take strips of aluminum foil and wrap them around your arm.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, be really easy. And, the thing about it is you don't even have to do strips. You can actually wrap your whole arm in foil, get it nice and tight, and just use a laundry marker or a Sharpie to draw on the lines. And under most cameras, it's going to look the same as it does.
Yeah, it's just going to be a big old white spot because the flash is reflecting back into the camera. Yeah, there you go. All right, Rodrigo, what do you have for your number 5?
My number 5. So some of these are like general suggestions. They're not specific costumes.
Yeah.
So, my number 5 is now is a great time to go as something that was popular last year.
Oh, yeah.
Because all those costumes will be cheaper. So If you didn't get a chance to be Barbie or Oppenheimer or Barbenheimer, you can do that. Alternately, I'm sure there's a bin full of Five Nights at Freddy's costumes because that movie came out last year, right before Halloween. So I don't know if they were able to move them all last year. So now you can go as animatronic bear monster.
Very cool.
On the cheap.
Yeah. That's pretty close to what my number 4 is. And it's the cheapest kind of costume that you can get. Also a bit of a cop-out, but it's just an idea for you to do. Just get a T-shirt that says, "This is my costume." Mm-hmm. And then just show up. And then people say, "What do you go as?" And it's like, this is my costume. What do you think I'm going as? And then they'll say, "You kind of look like you." And it's like, well, there, hey, congratulations. I got the best costume in the whole party. Award me first prize because people knew exactly who I was supposed to be. So get a T-shirt, print it up, or just, if you really want to, instead of printing it up or instead of buying a novelty T-shirt at the Spencer Gifts at the mall, then all you can do is just get some Sharpie marker and a white T-shirt and try to stretch that T-shirt out and keep it flat while you try to draw on it. And then just write on, "This is my costume." And then people will stay away from you all night because they don't know if you're a serial killer, perhaps. So my number 4, this is my costume T-shirt. Matthew.
Probably have the severed arms in your bed.
I mean, it could be. I mean, you could bring another T-shirt that says, "This was my significant other's costume, but it was too close to mine, so I hacked off her arms and stuffed them inside." So you could do that too. I mean, that's kind of creepy, but I don't know. That's just an idea. Matthew, what do you have for your number 4 Halloween costume idea?
Aside from a creeping sense of horror and just an image of myself in the future telling the police that you were always so quiet and kept to yourself. My number 4.
I don't rock the boat. I don't rock the boat. That's for sure.
My number 4 is actually inspired by an issue of IDW's Doctor Who from I think 2012 or 2013. Now, you will have to be a particular kind of person. You might have to be a cosplayer. I know that there's 1 or 2 people listening who have everything you need for this costume. But here's what you need to do. You put on the 10th Doctor's pants, the 5th Doctor's sweater, the 6th Doctor's coat, the 4th Doctor's scarf, and the 7th Doctor's hat, right? And you go as Doctor Who for 25 years. And you claim there was a terrible time-related accident. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, if you actually match that coat with that scarf, you will be arrested in most states just for crimes against fashion. But more importantly, the Doctor himself once wore them together to win a bet. So somebody might come and give you some money. But at the very least, if you have bits of cosplay around, you can mix them up. You can be like Frodo cosplaying as Doctor Who, or sexy Chun-Li cosplaying as Fred Flintstone, or even better, Fred Flintstone cosplaying as sexy Chun-Li.
That's the direction I'd have to go, but yeah.
Exactly. I'm the same
I think
way,
it would be funnier if Fred Flintstone went as George Jetson. That would be funny.
That would be good.
See, and that would be funny, and then George Jetson could go as Fred Flintstone.
Oh, no, because Flintstones takes place in the future, so George Jetson has no idea what a Fred Flintstone is.
The Jetsons takes place further in the future than the Flintstones.
No. The Jetsons takes place in the past. There was a nuclear war. The Flintstones are the result of all technology and society being destroyed, thanks to a dystopian future and uncontrolled AI.
Even if that was the case, we know that the Great Kazoo has
Yes. Ew, hello, dum-dums. It's me, the Great Kazoo.
Has interacted with both of them, so
yes.
That's true.
I can see, this nuclear war was brought on by AI, and as the mushroom clouds ascend into the sky, I can just hear Rosie saying, "Sorry, Mr. J," and then it just wipes to white.
I believe that the Flintstones has to be before the Jetsons, or else they would have animal fake versions of the Jetsons gadgetry. So, they might
do
have one
television.
Of those right, but
cars.
The Jetsons is further in the future. So the Jetsons is after we've rebuilt society, whereas the Flintstones is we're recapturing the baby boomers generation. We're recapturing this, and we're going to have this guy over here. He's an elephant.
Rodrigo.
But then further in the further future,
what do you have for your number 4?
We have rock robots. And what good would that be if you had a rock robot?
Rock Robot.
That's when the B-52s appeared on the Jetsons and the Flintstones crossover.
Right.
Rodrigo, what is your number 4, please?
My number 4, speaking of the future,
Okay.
I think that one of the hottest costumes you could do this year is go as a Cybertruck.
Nice. Everybody just screams at you, dumpster, dumpster, dumpster.
Yeah. And that's the thing is, like, if you already have a dumpster costume from last year, just put some
Headlights on.
aluminum foil over it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do mean the hottest costume, because apparently Cybertrucks are like a death trap if they catch on fire. So
they'll burn to the ground.
Yeah,
it's not good.
All right, well, there you go. Our number 4s. We're now into our number 3s, and these are our number 3 Halloween costume ideas. Again, just ideas. You don't have to follow them, but I've got a good idea that people should try out. We know about Ms. Pac-Man. Ms. Pac-Man is probably the more popular of all the Pac-Mans that are out there. And we've seen sexy depictions of Ms. Pac-Man. But I'm going to suggest that you don't go down that road, dear listener. Instead, you go as sexy Pac-Man instead of sexy Ms. Pac-Man. Think of it as the Thunder Down Under meets the chomping light dot guy. I think you could probably, score some points, probably get a few fans. I hear assless chaps are still in fashion. And so go as sexy Pac-Man this year. Matthew, what do you have for your number 3 costume idea? Is it sexy Pac-Man? Are you envisioning sexy Pac-Man now? Sexy Pac-Man really walking into the room with oil rubbed all over him as he's going, waka, waka, ladies.
You can just rock me to sleep tonight.
Yeah, okay, see? It's working. Everybody, just take a moment and picture a sexy Pac-Man costume. Right, Rodrigo? I mean, it used to be sexy costumes were all the rage, right? I don't know if I see like tons of advertisements for, sexy construction worker or sexy chef.
They're definitely still around, but I think people collectively shamed women enough that now it doesn't get advertised as much.
Sexy Commander Chief.
Yeah.
I have broken Matthew, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Good night.
Okay. So anyway, I'm on the internet, like sometimes. And I was on the internet and I saw a costume that I felt was possibly one of the most brilliant costumes ever, until I realized that I had this same idea when I was 12. But I went, when I was 12, I put on a domino mask and went exactly as I looked. And I said that I was going as myself. But I was online and I saw Florence Pugh, the lead actress from the movie Midsommar, went to a Halloween party as the character from Midsommar. She put on her May Queen outfit and she, put the things in her hair and went as her character, which I thought was really, really cool. That's kind of brilliant, right? So I think that you should either go as yourself or as Florence Pugh from Midsommar, unless you are Florence Pugh, at which point you have to do both. And if you are Florence Pugh and you're listening, welcome to the show. I love you. You're a wonderful, wonderful actress. Please send money. Now, if you're not Florence Pugh,
send money anyway.
Also, please send money. Exactly.
So I've seen Brie Larson go to the premiere of her movie dressed as Captain Marvel.
Right.
But I wonder if celebrities dressing as one of their characters, is that like wearing the T-shirt of the band of the concert you're going to?
See, it's a hard line because, reputedly, and I can neither confirm nor deny the stealing part. Reputedly, a Star-Lord costume disappeared.
Oh yeah, and
backstock.
What's his face? Yeah, what's his face said he stole the Deadpool costume outright and wasn't going to give it back.
I can't confirm that, but Chris Pratt has appeared and gone to hospitals and done Make-A-Wishes and visited.
I think that's a little different though.
as Star-Lord.
Yeah, that's a little different.
Yeah,
That's the thing, though. Is it entirely different if you're doing it to entertain people? I mean, that's the question.
Yeah, it's not really like wearing the T-shirt of the band you're gonna go see. It's like if I don't know.
Hey, everybody, remember me as the girl from Midsummer? Or hey, everybody, remember me as Deadpool?
It's like if you go see Red Hot Chili Peppers and Flea is wearing a Red Hot Chili Peppers shirt, which would be the only time that guy has ever worn a shirt.
Right. It would be Chili Pepperception. Or like if you go and you see Gene Simmons walking around and Gene Simmons is wearing a Kiss t-shirt, is that like twee and creepy, or is that, pushing the needle so far back that it comes all the way around to cooling?
That is the question. And we'll have to wait to discuss that another time. Rodrigo, what is your number 3?
If it was me, I'd say yes.
My number 3 is a group costume idea.
Okay.
If you have a group, I think 3 would be optimal.
Okay.
But if you have more than 3, you can just add more. Basically, you need 2 or more people to get like cop costumes, which are very available.
Yeah.
Right. Any Halloween store has a police officer costume.
Yeah.
And then one person needs to dress all in black and wear makeup like the Crow. And then you can be Sting and the police.
Oh, that's beautiful.
All right.
The glory of it. I can't look away, Stephen. That's beautiful.
Well, you may want to look away from my number 2, because I often sit there and think that
3, 4, and 5. So.
I often sit there and I think that, we don't see enough characters from Futurama get costumes. And so, yes, you could go as Fry. That one's pretty easy. It's almost the same as this is my costume t-shirt kind of thing. Leela, you can stretch it a little bit because you have to get the one eye. And Bender, of course, a robot that requires a lot of work. But what you don't see is a lot of people wearing velour. And so I think a great thing for people to go for this year is Zapp Brannigan. Now, I will say, don't go to a children's Halloween costume party dressed as Zapp Brannigan, because you probably will get arrested. But think about that for a little bit. Zapp Brannigan with his velour tunic and his white boots and nothing underneath.
What about Zoidberg?
I think Zoidberg is maybe a little bit too hard, especially this late in the game. If you want to do Zoidberg for like 6 years from now, because of how crazy the world is, maybe you could start working on your Zapp Brannigan or your Zoidberg costume now. But you got a little bit of time. I mean, it's a little bit different, Matthew, than just putting on a pair of Birkenstocks and shoving some warm shrimp in your mouth and walking around going. Yeah, Matthew, what do you got for your number 2?
I have no idea where this warm shrimp obsession comes from. My number 2. So a little backstory. Monkeys fandom. We are a superstitious and cowardly lot, but we're very, very dedicated to the monkeys, the 4 monkeys. Of course, there's your Mike, and your Peter, and your Davy, and your Mickey Dolenz. And throughout monkeys fandom, for as long as I've been alive, there has been a legend of when Mickey Dolenz was 6 years old and was in a Halloween parade and won a costume contest as a book entitled The History of Halloween, Volume 1. And it's literally Mickey in a cardboard box wearing like a mortarboard and a fake mustache because he's a professor. But he's the history of Halloween. And I started thinking about how this is actually pretty simple. If you've got a cardboard box, you could make the book be anything you want. It could be, Frankenstein's epistle to the Germans for whatever you want it to be. But most importantly, as an adult, I've actually, corresponded with Mickey Dolenz on the Twitter. And I have been told that everybody's story of how Mickey won this contest and how Mickey had this great costume Mickey describes as the time his mom forced him to be the model for a costume so that she could win a prize in a Halloween parade. So really, I think what I'm saying is A, try to stay away from fandom. Fandom was a mistake. And B, don't be an overbearing mother. But more importantly,
we haven't gotten my number one yet. Don't spoil it, Matthew. Don't spoil it. Oh, don't spoil it. So what was the prize, I wonder, that Mickey Dolenz mom won? Was it a book entitled The History of Halloween Volume 1? And she was just kind of like planting a subliminal suggestion into the judges to award her the winner?
I think it was $25 and a gift certificate for a medium frozen yogurt.
Hey, and 48, that goes a long ways.
53 because, they probably didn't have frozen yogurt.
Rodri, what do you have for your number 2?
Oh, I was going to say, if you're going to be any book for Halloween, you should do something like To Serve Man.
Oh, that'd be good.
Or the Necronomicon or something like that. Although that would be a lot more work.
Yeah, boy, you have to go. Right. Well, you wonder why you've got all those spare arms lying around. What do you think you made your Necronomicon book out of?
Yeah.
The face is one of those arms, exactly.
Yeah, see?
All right, so my number 2 is a deep Halloween cut.
Okay.
Ooh.
So
don't go too deep. I need to keep my head on.
Now you'll get this. You'll get this because I think that you probably went through the same stuff that I did, because fashion doesn't get to Mexico until like 5 to 10 years later. Now it's much faster. Now with the internet, it's much faster. But did you guys ever have, or have your friends have, like a costume that is like, I'm Casper or I'm Wendy the Witch, and it's like a hard plastic?
Yep.
Casper
those are
mask.
We talked about those. Those are the classic style masks from the 1960s. This is what the whole superhero lawsuit was surrounding, was the creation of those the company that do those costumes.
But they come with a shirt or some like pajama looking stuff that has a picture of that character on it.
Yep.
Right. It's not like, oh, I'm Casper, so I'm wearing this plastic Casper mask, and then a white ghosty looking costume. I'm wearing a shirt that has Casper on it.
Oh, look
I figure you can do that.
Look up the Fonz costume. It's literally a leather jacket, a vinyl leather jacket vest with the Fonz's picture on it, and you're wearing the Fonz's plastic mask on your face. Yeah.
So especially now, there's some properties that you could easily do that with, like basically reconstruct a quote unquote classic, I don't know, 80s, I guess, probably 70s and 80s Halloween costume. Like there's a lot, like you can certainly find Wolverine masks, right? And then you just buy a Wolverine t-shirt and you wear that. And people ask you, you can say, I'm Wolverine, but from the
60s. Yeah. So I could get like a really, really cool wig and put on red lipstick, and I could get a picture of Kelly LeBrock in Weird Science, and I could tell them that I'm Lisa the Genie from Weird Science.
Sure. Yep, you could do that. There's lots of ways to go about it. You could wear a paper bag on your head and then get a shirt of the Unknown Comic and tell people that you're the Unknown Comic, although you wouldn't have to do that because all you needed was the paper bag on your head.
Yeah, no, the way you'd have to do that one is you wear the paper bag on your head, but then, like the Mickey Dolenz costume, you also have a much larger paper bag that covers the rest of your body.
Yeah.
No, your shirt has a picture of a paper bag, and the paper bag is labeled the Unknown Comic. That's how it would have to go. I think. Yeah, that's perfect. You ever get the feeling that we're weird?
Let me tell you this. I can really tell when, like, maybe dinner had like maybe a little bit too much sugar before we sit down to record. like maybe somebody went out for milkshakes, or like Steven got like the dehydrator going and ate a lot of like dehydrated apples or something. Yeah.
Boy. I mean, if I ate a lot of those, this show would be a lot shorter than it is. Anyway,
there you go.
We are now to our number ones. And my number one costume idea is simply putting a sheet over your head and cutting some eye holes out and going as a ghost But you got to be careful.
Classic.
Got to be careful, though. A couple of reasons. Number one, you want to make sure that the top of the ghost costume is rounded. Okay? Very important that the top of your ghost costume, where the head is at, is rounded. You don't want any points or any angles on your ghost costume. Okay? That's going to cause you a lot of trouble. Second thing is, have you ever just draped a sheet over your body and how you just look like a lump of something? You need to have a defined head region. So
Sure.
What I would suggest you not do, throw my mom under the bus here. What I suggest you not do is take some tape and tape around your son's neck with the tape to make sure that you have a very delineated headspace in there, because, move around a little bit. It gets a little hard to breathe and to swallow. And mom, I can't breathe. And those are very good moans you're doing there, son. You're a very good ghost. So yes, sheet over your head, but don't let people confuse you for anything else other than a ghost. That's my number one Halloween costume idea for 2024. Matthew, what is your number one Halloween costume idea for 2024?
Whenever you talk about your childhood, I just want to wrap you in a blanket.
On the plus side, it wasn't a giant rubber band.
Well,
did your mom really think this is a problem? There's not enough definition here.
Yeah.
But the rest was fine. She didn't wrap one around your waist.
Oh no, you don't have to, because a ghost has this round little bulbous head, and then the sheet part, the rest of the ghost kind of flares out. So the rest of that stuff is fine. We just have to have this delineation between the shoulders and the head, presumably so that the axe murderer knows exactly where to cut. I don't know. But yes, don't make it too constricting around your child's neck. That's what I'm saying. Or go with Rodrigo's idea and just get one of those hard plastic Casper masks.
Yeah.
I don't know how to. So I'm just.
I know exactly, right? So let's get to your number one.
So I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm a fat white guy, and there's nothing wrong with that.
I mean, this is audio. I guess we'll take your word for it.
Yeah.
That's a good point. And I don't necessarily ever photograph myself very often. I think the last picture of myself I put online was wearing a luchador mask that my kid got me. But I was actually online either yesterday or the day before, and I saw on the feed of a lovely person named Andrew Griffith a picture of his older brother wearing a cosplay for me. So he's carrying a cigar, he's wearing a suit, he's got a silk shirt. Of course, he has glasses and a white beard, and he's wearing the helmet of Unicron from Transformers, the motion picture, and he is Orson Welles as Unicron.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
It is the coolest costume I have seen in forever, and I think I could probably pull that off. I'm sure there's some 3D printing involved, but there's 13 3D printers in the basement. I got cardboard all over my house. The hard part is probably going to be finding, a nice shirt and remembering what to say about these effing frozen peas. But it's a brilliant costume. And if you, like me, are a fat white guy, first of all, it's time to take your pill so your back doesn't hurt in the morning. But more importantly, you too could go as Orson Welles as Unicron.
There you go. Rodrigo, what do you have for your number one?
My number one is another general one, and one that you can pretty much only do this year. And that is go as a character from the game Concord. Did you guys hear about Concord?
I do not. I know nothing about Concord.
Okay, so Concord is a video game that was had been in development for 8 years at the studio. Mm-hmm. This studio was bought by Sony sort of on the promise of this game. Oh. And then it had an absolutely disastrous launch. Nobody actually played it. And it has been the fastest, from opening to we're shuttering this game ever. It lasted, I think, a little over a week.
Oh my
and
God.
they were like, "Nope, nobody's playing this, so we're just gonna close it."
Yep.
Offered like gave everybody refunds. It was tragic, and one of the many things that people cite as a problem with the game is the character designs.
Mhm.
And if you go online and look up Concord characters, you can see that unfortunately that's kind of true. And these characters very much look like normal people putting together space costumes, right?
Hmm.
Which could be charming if that's what the game was going for, but I don't think it was. Um, the the style of Concord is supposed to be based on like Mobius stuff.
Mhm.
I can see
Moebius.
that. I can see that.
Yeah, here and there.
But
Not
yeah,
much to be had.
but yeah, that's the thing is like there's like this like fundamental brilliant 2D-ness to Mobius' stuff.
Mhm, mhm.
So like bring that to 3D. I'm not saying it can't be done. I'm just saying like it would be an immense challenge. That's why 3D stuff that borrows that style, and we've seen some video games that do that, have that sort of cell shading
cel-shaded,
filter
yeah.
on,
Mhm.
so that they don't have so that it still looks like a drawing. Anyway, if you look through that list, there's there's like a lady who's just like wearing a jumpsuit and has like a clear boxy like literal like box helmet. There's a guy who just has like a blue jacket and a machine gun.
Yeah.
That's kind of it.
Yeah.
There's a lady who looks like she's wearing like hockey pads or football pads and just has like an old-timey football like leather helmet kind of thing. So it very much to me looks like a garage sale or like a thrift store bunch of costumes. And I hope that if they relaunch Concord and they make it free to play, that they change that to be the pretense of Concord. You know, at the beginning of Jesus Christ Superstar, how they all show up in buses and start putting their costumes on.
Mhm.
That's how Concord should start. It's like a bunch of people, they show up, they put on some green makeup, they're like looking through and it's like, oh, look at this jacket, I'll wear this and have a jacket and assault rifle guy. That's me. You know, and like that's it, is like a bunch of friends like playing around.
This guy looks like a hot pink professional wrestler. Sheamus.
There
Hot
are some there's some good stuff in here. And if you actually see footage from the game,
Mhm.
like the character select screen is like immaculately motion captured. Like characters are like emoting and moving and doing all this stuff. Clearly lots of time and effort was put into this game. But it just was like a perfect storm of things not working out. And of course, it has been a delicious sacrificial meal for the internet up until very recently. Like now, finally, the buzz has died down. But we were looking at like daily, YouTube videos and articles talking about why Concord failed there for a while.
Was this supposed to be like a competitor for
This is
Blizzard game?
This is a hero shooter. So it very much like when they say it's been in development for 8 years, basically Overwatch came out and they said, we want to do an Overwatch 2, and it took them this long.
Oof. Okay.
And it's like now if you look at Overwatch, like people kind of don't like Overwatch anymore a lot of the time. Hero shooters are kind of fallen by the wayside. Right now the kids are playing Fortnite, which is not a role-based shooter.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm watching the trailer from like 4 months ago, and I'm like, yeah, this looks just like Overwatch with a bunch of characters that Blizzard didn't come up with. So
yeah,
I want to go as the yellow guy. I want to go as the yellow tank guy.
Yeah, the yellow tank guy is fun. I would definitely
get
do
some
either
yellow 55-gallon plastic drums and just cut them up and make the costume out of that.
Yeah,
you can get them on the highway.
There's a guy who's like yellow and he just looks like he's wearing a lampshade on top of his head.
Oh man, I must not be seeing all of the characters.
I love him.
Yeah.
Actually, I threw a pic here in the chat, Stephen, if you want to
all right.
look at the lineup.
Let me look at the lineup.
The yellow.
Yeah, I saw the whole
lampshade.
lineup. Yeah, let me see the yellow. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. I know which one you're talking about. Yeah, I saw him.
Yeah.
I like the person that looks like they're wearing dishwasher gloves and a puffy winter long coat from like 1982.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. I think that's like the core guy. Like, if you want to go as a Concord guy, because he's also wearing like
like a
like
snowsuit.
ski goggles.
Yeah.
Ski goggles. Like all of this stuff. Literally, all of this stuff you can find at a thrift store.
Yeah,
including the boxy
Luke Skywalker with a cake box on his head.
Yeah, there's a guy who's just wearing like a suit and tie, but the suit is like beige and is kind of cut open, and his face is purple. But he's also wearing big goggles too, so it's like, yeah, just like, get some purple paint yourself up, wear a suit and tie. Like, that's it. You got it. You made
there you
it.
go, ladies and gentlemen. Our top 5 costume ideas for Halloween 2024. You have no excuse to back out of that party or that get together or that door to door where you're ringing the bell and saying, trick or treat, smell my feet. You have no excuses now because we've provided you with plenty of ideas to get you started. Now, the only thing that's left is for you to send us your costume. Send us a picture, post it in the Major Spoilers Discord server. You can join the Discord server for free. We have a free channel for our top 5 podcast. You can just jump in there and say, here's my costume, and we want to see. And bonus points. You get bonus points if you use one of our suggestions as your costume. So I'm very curious who's going to go as a plate of warm shrimp this year. I'm very curious. If you can do it and pull it off, you may get some bonus points right over there in the Major Spoilers Discord. Why? Because everyone loves a Halloween costume list. Bye now.
This podcast is copyright 2024 by Major Spoilers Entertainment, LLC.